Shalom, shalom, brothers and sisters. It's your brother Yakub, back again. So happy to be back. And just wanted to double back on some of the stuff we talked about, last week. Just want to talk about how to be stable, unmovable, like a tree, like the scriptures say. Let's get into it. This is Psalms chapter 1, verse 1 through 3. Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. Verse 2. But his delight is in the law of Yah, and in his law he meditates day and night. Verse 3. And he shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water, that bringeth forth fruit in his season. His leaf also shall not wither, and whatsoever he doeth shall prosper. Verse 4. Let's go one more. The ungodly are not so. They are not like this, but are like the chaff which the wind driveth away. Let's get it from the Good News Translation. And they title this True Happiness. Happy are those who reject the advice of evil people, who do not follow the example of sinners, or join them with those who have no use for Elohim. You ain't got no use for Elohim, we ain't got no use for you. Verse 2. Instead, they find joy in obeying the law of Elohim, and they study it day and night. Always make time to study that law, brothers and sisters. That's how we know what's up. That's how we know how to move in these crazy, uncertain times. Verse 3. They are like trees that grow beside a stream, that bear fruit at the right time. This is Elohim's time, not our time. The right time. Not when everybody say you should be bearing fruit, but when Elohim say it's time to bear that fruit. Keep that in mind. Let's move forward. Let's get into Sirach 11, chapter 10 through 13 that goes along with that. My child, don't get involved in too many things. If you try to do too much, that's even what people say nowadays, you doing too much. You doing the most, what they say out on the West Coast. If you try to do too much, you will suffer for it. You won't be able to finish your work, and you won't be able to get away from it either. You just be stuck. Verse 11. For instance, here is someone who never stops working like a slave, but gets further behind all the time. Verse 12. On the other hand, someone else may be very poor and not up to his task. He may be slow, and he may need help. Like to the public eye, to our opinion, it might look like this person is far behind in the race of life. It may look like he just need help, look like he down bad for real. But let's see what the book says. It says, on the other hand, verse 12, someone else may be very poor and not up to his task. That's where we were, He may be slow and he may need help. But Yah is pleased with him and pulls him out of his bad situation. So at any given time, the Most High can step in. We can look at somebody and say that it look like they doing bad, look like they not up to task, look like, man, what they doing? What he doing? He falling off. He doing bad. But the Most High see him and pull him out of that bad situation. Verse 13, when he is back on his feet again, everyone is astounded. People are like, what? What? Not him. Not him. We thought he was slagging. We thought he was doing bad. That goes back to that wisdom of Solomon, verse either 4 or 5. I can't remember which one. I'll put it on the screen. I'll research it after I finish this. Put it on the screen for everybody. Most High willing. He is back on his feet again. Everyone is astounded. Verse 14. Everything comes from Yah. Success and failure. Poverty and wealth. Life and death. Let's prove that. This is Isaiah chapter 45 verse 7. I form the light and create the darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, Yah, do all these things. So you might be giving the devil too much credit, if you really think about it. All right, let's get back to Sirach. This is chapter 11, verses 1 through 6. If a poor person is wise, He has good reason to be proud, and he will be thought of as someone great. Proverbs 18:16. A man's gift maketh room for him, and bringeth him before great men. I can't believe, and you wouldn't believe, how many great men and women I've had the opportunity to rub shoulders with, talk with, just because of the gifts that the Heavenly Father gave me. And I'm not no rich man. I'm not no great influential character. You feel me? But what the Most High has given me, try my best to use it and use it for His glory. For real, that's the most important part. All praises to Abba Yah, and respect to those great men and women who even deem me worthy enough for to get a minute of their time. Go back and forth with me, and may it be in DMs, may it be in real life, may it be on telephone or whatever. I'm just grateful. All praise to the Most High. Anything good that comes out of me is because of Him. It's not because of me. Trust and believe, I know. Back to Sirach, chapter 11, verse 2. Do not compliment a person on his good looks. On the other hand, do not look down on someone who is unattractive. Verse 3. Compared to most flying things, a bee is very small, but the honey that it makes is the sweetest of foods. Verse 4. This is the point. Don't make fun of someone who has fallen on hard times and is dressed in rags. Yah does wonderful things that human beings never notice. And this is in the Greek. It says, don't take pride in fine clothes, and don't let compliments go to your head. Don't think because somebody give you a compliment. Don't believe your own hype. For real. A lot of people you see do that. They'll make up a story about who they are. And after a while they start to believe it. And they start treating the people who is part of the machine that made them believable, they start treating them like they beneath them. When really their whole life is a lie. All that they have that everybody believes about them and the reason why people love them was all made up by this machine. And they start treating the people that make it believable, treating them like crap. But as the scripture says, and as we know, pride leads to a fall. So people like that, you just eat your popcorn and watch the show. Most High get them. We don't gotta do nothing. Verse 5. Many are the kings who have ended their careers sitting on the ground, while their crowns were worn by those no one had ever heard of before. Verse 6. Many are the rulers who have suffered disgrace. We see it every day now. See a lot of people who we consider to be rulers getting disgraced like a mug. Many are the famous people who have fallen into the power of others. Because most of the time the others be the ones that give them that power. We believe the hype. That we sit there, whatever they tell us is what it is, that's what we believe. And the person who try to tell you that it ain't like that, most of the time you say they crazy, or say they tripping, or they need to shut their ass up. I'm just talking though, don't pay me no mind. Pay these scriptures some mind though. Let's read that again. Verse 6. Many are the rulers who have suffered disgrace. Many are the famous people who have fallen into the power of others. And being around since the 90s, I've seen it. A lot of it firsthand. But what they say on Reading Rainbow, you don't have to take my word for it. So let's get back into these scriptures. Isaiah 26:3, which brings us back to the original point. What we talking about, how to be like a tree, how to be stable, steadfast, and unmovable. Thou wilt keep him in perfect peace, or shalom, whose mind is stayed on thee. Keep our minds on the Heavenly Father, because he trusteth in thee, and trust in the Heavenly Father. Proverbs 3, verses 5 and 6. Trust in Yah with all thine heart, and lean not into thine own understanding. Good News Translation says, never rely on what you think you know. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths. Verse 7. Be not wise in thy own eyes. New Living Translation. Don't be impressed by your own wisdom. A lot of people, they say in the New Testament, knowledge puffeth up. A lot of people get to know a little something, and they start thinking they better than everybody. They start thinking nobody can't tell them nothing. But as long as we living, there's more stuff to learn. What they say, the Most High's ways is unsearchable. So we can live a whole lifetime and not know all the way he got. And it's to his glory to hide things, and the wise man's glory is to seek it out. So never stop learning. Never stop seeking things out. Never think you done quote unquote made it, because we all got a ways to go. no matter who we are. Let's get that again. Verse 7. Be not wise in thine own eyes. New Living Translation. Don't be impressed by your own wisdom. Fear Yah and depart from evil. Verse 8. It shall be health to thy navel and marrow to thy bones. Good News Translation. If you do it, it will be like good medicine, healing your wounds and easing your pains. So, in all that's going on, let's keep our eyes on what's truly important. And this is this right here. We're going to close it off with this one. Ecclesiasticus of Sirach. No, I'm sorry, Ecclesiastes in the Old Testament. Chapter 12, verse 13. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear Elohim and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. Good News Translation. After all this, after everything else has been said and done, there is only one thing to say. Have reverence for Yah and obey his commands, because that is all we were created for. So if we keep that in mind, keep the main thing, he will keep us in perfect peace, and he will keep us steadfast and unmovable, just like a tree planted by the rivers of waters, and he will make sure that we have everything we need. So let everybody talk, let everybody do whatever they're going to do, but keep in mind what's the main thing, keep in mind who's the main one, Abba Yah, and we going to be alright. Much love, Most High bless and keep y'all. Prayerfully we'll get together again real soon. Shalom, shalom.